everyone, welcome to episode 6 of this week's notebook. This is the Singapore race review. So yeah, round 5 been and gone. Singapore street track, always tricky in league racing. I love the race, I love the track. Never thought I'd actually like it as much as I did, but after doing all those laps last week, do you know what, it's actually, it's quite enjoyable. I didn't get the result I wanted, obviously, but yeah, I really like that track. So some good pace around there, so yeah. Yeah, it's a good race. Lots of incidents. First half of the race was quite boring. Second half was pretty decent, actually. So yeah, yeah, it's a good race all in all. Good race all in all. So we go to our top 3 drivers. So we had Cornet, finished P1, started P2, so made the jump on his teammate at the start just before the first round of pit stops. Made the one stop work. Cornet's fastest lap was a 39.599, so he was good race pace, basically consistent race pace. That's what he needed, and he managed to get the win by 42 seconds. He beat Honesy, who started P11, so I mean that was a great drive from P11 to P2. Did 2 stops as well, without a safety car to do 2 stops in Singapore and still finish second spot is brilliant. He did the fastest lap of the race at 1:36.280. He was about 18 seconds behind Cornet and then decided to pit. He had a gap to pit for fastest lap at the end, hence why he's so far back. But it was about 18-20 seconds behind, but still that's a great race by Cornet, great race by Honesy. And then we have Coolbeans, another P3. That's what, 3 and 5 now for Coolbeans. So he is showing some great pace, some great consistency. A couple of dodgy races in between those, but no, another P3 is great for Racing Point, for their points haul, and great for him as well, keep him in the shout. And he did 2 stops as well. His fastest lap was a 39.1, so he had good pace there as well, and he finished a further 7 seconds behind Honesy, sorry, so 50 seconds in total behind Cornet. Stuart Little got P4, and he was only 3/10 from P3, so that was a really good race from him as well, really tight at the end between him and Coolbeans, but Coolbeans prevailed. We have some honourable mentions to Kachow, started P18, moved to P5. Shieto went from P17 to P9, and Rayner with his one-shot quali, he was waiting right into the end to go out, and his PlayStation decided to go up, so he had to. But he didn't even get a quali lap, so basically a quali ban he served, so that's all good. Started P20 and finished P12, even with quite a few incidents he had. So he did really well to get up to P12. 2 non-finishers, Toss Caber and Lasser. Lasser decided to, I'm not sure what happened with him, but he was ghosted for most of the race. So those are the most positions gained in the race. A couple of people lost some positions, including me. I started P10, finished P16, I think. And then we had Dace went from P5 to P13. I know he got into a bit of a tussle with Frog, who went from P3 to P10 as well. So with regards to the incidents, there was obviously the one big one, which is still being spoken about by the stewards right now. There was a blocking in quali, which I was surprised if there wasn't, to be honest, and there's a few other bits and pieces which the stewards have sorted out. They're just waiting on the big one. I'm going to reveal some of the predictions that we had in. So we had Toss the Caber made the prediction of a Honesy win, which didn't happen. 2 safety cars, didn't happen. 4 DNFs, didn't happen. There was 2. And there was also 0 toss spins. Now, he didn't spin, so I'll give him half a point for that. He gets half a point. He didn't spin, but he did crash. Not necessarily his fault, but he still got himself in a tussle, so he doesn't get a point for that. He gets half a point. Will Tictum, sorry, Will Ans. He predicted B16 boy points. Didn't, unfortunately. His teammate in the other Mercedes got pretty close. I think P11, I think he finished. P11, P12, so yeah, should have gone the other way, but it still wouldn't have been right. Great drive from Red Dog, though. Great drive from him. And a Will Ans podium, well, that didn't come to fruition either. Honesy predicted, this is the biggest one that I thought was going to fail before turn 4. 0 safety cars. Yeah, there was no safety cars, and I actually cannot believe that. Not even a VSC. And then he also said Will and Kachow to sleep in, which didn't happen. They both turned up. I'm sure Toss would have preferred Will to have slept in, but there we go. Dommy Lee, he predicted there'd be less than 16 finishers. There wasn't. There was 18. Toss wins. He did predict a Toss win. I don't think he would have won it, but he was on for a podium, on for a strong podium, but no points for that. And a Haas won too. So a DNF and a P5, so that didn't come about either. Shieto, he predicted 3 safety cars. No, none. Still can't get over that. And he predicted rain as well, which I thought there'd be rain too, but there was no rain. So yeah, that was that. Giamma went for a top 3 of Cornet, Orocolo and Kachow. He got Cornet right, so I'll give him a third of a point for that. The most controversial one was from the rain. He predicted Cornet pole, which didn't happen. He got P2. His teammate pipped him to P1. But Cornet to lead the race into lap 29 and then crash for a Honesy win. So neither of those 2 things happened. Neither all 3 actually. I obviously went for safety car by turn 4 and rain. Neither happens, or I failed miserably there. And then Cornet jinxed me on the day. I thought stuck a late prediction in, saying someone's going to crash in the pit lane. I thought, oh, it'd be funny, someone is going to do it. I didn't think it'd be me. Yeah, there we go. I had no front wing. That's my excuse. I had no front wing, so that's my excuse for smashing it into the wall. So there we go. That's the race review. Lots of incidents. Good racing though. It was, a couple of good overtaking spots. You had the hairpin, which I thought was going to be the main one, but it turned out that was where most of the incidents occurred. I know I had a coming together with Red Dog, completely my fault. I was lining it up for a few laps. I was behind him, and I thought I saw him. He was taking a slightly wider racing line, and I thought if I could just get my nose in front, I might be able to do it, but I didn't. I turned in too early, hit the wall. Thankfully, I only did myself damage and ruined my own race rather than his. I know he had to come in together with Rayner a bit later on in the race, but yeah, that was that. What else do we have? We had the qualifying block, that one, and yeah. So there we go. Now I'll move on to the grade book. Again, 1A star to be handed out, and I'm in 2 minds about who to hand this out to. So I'll come back to that. I'll start with P3. So I'll start with Cool Beans. He gets an A just for that, consistent drive, 2-stop strategy. That's not normally the right strategy to do around Singapore. So yeah, he did really well to bring that home in P3. Stewart, 3/10 off, great drive. 3/10 off in the podium, so a great drive from him. So he gets an A as well. You had Kachow going from P18 to P5 on a street track. He gets the A. Willans, on track finished in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, he went from P1 to P6. Quite a scrappy race, involved in the big incident. So I'm going to drop that score down to an E. Not the cleanest drive from him. Not the most consistent drive. It's a shame. He is a quick driver on his day. Great qualifying. So I expect him to come back stronger in Silverstone. Giamma gets a B. Again, a great drive from him. He went, he moved up the field. I think he started P12, so moved up to P7. And I'm going to give his teammate Orocolo a C, mainly just for finishing behind his teammate, even though he started ahead of him. So yeah, the Alpha Tauri teammate, very close. They always seem to finish within a couple of positions of each other, but Giamma gets it this week. Shieto gets an A for his drive, P17 to P9. Fantastic clean drive. Don't think I saw anything, brilliant. Then we move on to Frog Labelle. Got involved in a few incidents. I guess a C from me this week. I think he's consistently getting B's and C's from me, but I am expecting him to be up there. He's a great quick driver. So yeah, hopefully he comes back to the top of the field a bit quicker, sooner rather than later. Red Dog, he gets an A from me this week. He had an amazing drive. I don't know how. I think he revealed he was running 4 8 wings or 4 9 wings, I think, in the race. I mean, I was doing all my practice with 9 11 wings, and then on the day I did a quick couple of laps and moved it down to 710, and I was gonna go down to 610, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know how he did a front wing of 4 around Singapore and still be competitive, but that made huge gains on him down the straight, and I just couldn't catch up. He was probably a bit slower in the corners because of the aero, but down the straights where it matters, you know, you've got to make an overtake in Singapore, you've got to be on them in the braking zone. You just couldn't get there with him. So I mean, fantastic race from him to finish P11. So yeah, you know, that was a great drive, great defensive moves into the hairpin. So yeah, he gets an A from me this week. Rayner gets a B, bit scrappy, but you know, his drive from P20 to P12 was brilliant. Couple of scrappy moments from him, but there. Dace gets a C. Again, scrappy race. Showed pace, but just a scrappy race from him, unfortunately. Tribal Road, you know, gets a B. I mean, he was brilliant. It was a great race from him. You know, I don't know how many stops he made. I think it was 3, maybe. But yeah, to finish where he finished, you know, not involved in any incidents, clean, consistent, great drive. Move on to me, Van Rocco, D. I don't think I've scored higher than a D yet. I think I'm scoring myself pretty harshly, but that's just me. Decent qualifying. I could have probably been higher up if I'd not, you know, thought too much of strategy. But I was involved in a few scrappy incidents, lost my front wing, hit the pit wall, so I can't give myself anything higher than that. Delta gets a C. He had a good race, you know, consistent, fell back a bit, got involved in a few tussles. But yeah, no, gets a C from me. B16 boy gets a C. You know, finished behind his teammate, but he openly admitted that Singapore was not his track, and he still, you know, brought it home. Medwoods gets a D, mainly for his internet. I'm not sure if any of you saw his fastest lap flash up, at 1 minute 34, I think. But at that lap, I was just behind him, and I was behind him around the old Singapore slings down towards the hairpin. He was literally right in front of me, and all of a sudden, his car disappeared, and he was a couple of corners ahead, going under the bridge in the last sector. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a glitch, unfortunately, with the timings on that. So that will be avoided, unfortunately. But yeah, then we got Lasser, gets a D. Scrappy race. I don't know how many laps he actually completed in the end, but you know, I'm still expecting him to move up the grid sooner rather than later. And Toss, I'm going to give him a B, even though he didn't finish. He was, you know, he was on it. He was on the pace. He had the pace to get the podium, and yeah, something happened. Don't know what. And I said I come back to the Cornet and Honesy as the grade book. It's a toss-up. I only give one out a week. Honesy went P11 to P2 on a street track in league racing with 2 stops, finished 40 seconds behind. Cornet dominated the race after about lap 4. I'm going to have to give it to Cornet this week, just for that dominating of a race. No, you know, he didn't have any incidents really. He was just clean, he was consistent, so he gets my A star. Honesy gets the A. It's a very, very hard, probably the hardest one I've had to do just yet. But there we go. That's that one. There we go. That's the Singapore review over and done with. Move on this week. We go to Silverstone. Can't wait. Love that track. Just a shame I'm not. It's my home track. Just a shame I'm not massively quick. So I'm expecting, you know, it always brings good racing in Silverstone, especially in league racing. Lots of overtaking spots. Look out for the preview of that coming up in a couple of days' time. And yeah, just to confirm, running with strict corner cutting. So there we go. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will see you in a couple of days for the Silverstone preview. Over and out.